The fact that, apart from the fact that many people are not going there, the costs are very high. So that's something they can consider. Now, let's look at distribution structure. So now these are structures that they use to distribute. So the first one we have is the authorized dealership. You know that they mentioned earlier that some of these people, they do authorized dealerships with new vehicles. Can you remember that they do authorized dealership with these international brands and all these companies? So now the first one is what authorized dealership. So now how does this information, how does it affect our case study exam? So they could give you a situation whereby they'll say, okay, Folak wants to start a dealership with Honda or start a dealership with Toyota. You understand? So that's something that they could start. That's the distribution sector or segments they could look into. And then most of these authorized dealers, they will be located in urban centers. And these outlets represent international automakers. So they're representing them more like they're representing maybe Honda, or they're like sort of like ambassadors. They're the ones selling for them. You understand? And then they provide sales, financing, after services, and warranties. So what they're just doing is that these people, these authorized dealers, they're the ones that will sell, they're the ones that will finance it. Any after sales service are the ones that will do after sales service. When you talk about after sales service in vehicle sales, you're looking at, okay, after you have bought my car, I can help you repair. After you have bought my car, I can help you change your spare parts, something like that. So that's what they call after sales service, and even warranties. So like they're the ones really doing like everything. So the burden will be on them. And then they rely heavily on brand reputation and long-term relationships with corporate clients. So that's something that they can tell you that Folak wants to do. Another aspect that they can come is that they can tell you that Folak wants to become an independent dealer. In this case, I don't want to be a boy to Toyota or to Honda. Honda, I'm not doing any dealership with you. Take my money, give me your car, bye-bye. Whatever I do is my business, you understand? We're not doing Toyota is my father. No, I'm my father and my mother myself. So in this case now, these actors dominate the used market. The used market. So many of these Tokumbo cars, most of them are independent dealers. They import in bulk and they sell to customers or to automats. You understand? They import in bulk and they sell to customers or automats. So what's telling us now? This is telling us that they can tell us that, oh, Folak wants to start doing independent dealership. Fine. Currently, they are selling used and new cars. But they can tell you that, oh, they want to focus on the used segment and start importing in bulk. They want to start reselling to customers. They want to start reselling to automats. You understand? So that's something. Or they can say, instead of even being an independent dealer themselves, they want to partner with an independent dealer that will be supplying them cars, used cars. And I can tell you that, okay, we are looking at, for, like I said, we'll get there. I didn't want to jump it, but let me just say it. Folak is into new and used cars, sales of new and used cars. So they can tell you that for their used segments, they want to consider, they want to partner with an independent dealer. Okay, this is independent dealer A, this is independent dealer B, this is the cost and revenue that we'll gain from independent dealer A, and this is the cost and revenue that we'll gain from independent dealer B. Help us to assess, help us to check which one should we go for. That's a possible requirement. You understand? Then online platforms too. So some people don't even like Gigi. They'll just sit down and be making their money in their houses. You understand? So some people just like do a lot of digital commerce. You can just, where customers can browse, you can negotiate, you can purchase vehicles. You understand? So there's a lot of convenience. So it's very possible that they can tell you that Folak wants to start doing online sales, or they want to digitalize their operations, and then they want to start doing online sales, or they want to expand and say, okay, we have been selling physical before. We are hearing that people are making money online. Me too, we can make money online now. Now, oh yeah, these are the costs, these are the revenue. Help us to assess. Is it a profitable business? Should we go into online sales? So they'll give you cost of maybe technology and all of that, and they'll tell you to assess it. So that's a possible scenario. So these are the possible, I'm just trying to open up your mind so that you will see possible situations that could come up. Sorry. All right. So now, key drivers key market drivers. What are the things that are driving the market? Number one, population growth. Now, they are saying that the population of Nigeria is more than 237 million. Hey, with rapidly growing urban middle class, the need for mobility is expanding. It's expanding cities drives in expanding cities rather drives consistent demand for both personal and commercial vehicles. So in this case now, if they are saying now that Folak is into new and used cars, and then we're seeing that the revenue is increasing or the profitability position is increasing, or let's say liquidity, like they are doing well in terms of their financial performance. Can say yes now, Falak is doing well because of what? The fact that the demand for cars is high. And of course, if people are demanding for cars, it will increase sales margin now. You understand? So that's something you can talk about in terms of financial statements. And even in terms of the project too, you can tell them that, oh, yes, the population of Nigeria shows that what? That people will come and buy your products. So they should go ahead and do it. So these are ways that you can use this information. Then infrastructural development too. Why public transit remains inadequate? Investment in road infrastructure, especially Lagos and Abuja, have encouraged private vehicle ownership. The improvement of expressways and urban roads have direct impact on sales figure. So if you are seeing in your financial statement that sales is increasing, you can say, oh yes, the increase in sales is as a result of the impact of the express, or as a result of the improvement of expressways that have encouraged private ownership, which has in turn improved the demand for cars and the what? The margins for Folak. I don't know if that makes sense. So what they're trying to say is that okay, Folak has high sales because many people now demand for cars. And if many people are demanding for cars, they would actually come, buy, and then their revenue will increase, something like that. And even in terms of they can tell you that oh, Falak wants to maybe open a branch in Lagos, open a branch in Abuja. Since everybody say Lagos and Abuja is the hot cake because they have expressway, they have road, they have this, they have that. You understand? So in that case, now they can tell you that they want to go into, they want to set up operations in that area. You understand? So that's something they can say. Then government policy and regulations. So there are a lot of policies, there are a lot of regulations that the government has actually placed to as incentives for local assembly. And then they have placed these people higher tariffs on fully built imports to stimulate domestic manufacturing. So in this case, what they're saying that local assembly, like now, so they say that okay, Folak wants to start doing local assembly. Because yes, now the NAIDP have actually there's incentives for them that they can benefit from. And then you can also say that if Folak wants to start doing fully built imports, you can say there's high tariff for please or try and take note of it. So this is a point you can use to explain or use to prepare a report if it's they're telling you that anything relating to local manufacturing is involved. Then access to finance. Microfinance Institute as well. They are now doing what? There's now like more financial products. But then interest rates and economic volatility are barriers. They are barriers. So this is something that can affect the possibility of actually having access to finance. Yes, they are providing finance for us, but when they say come and collect 5 million, but at the end of the day you pay 8 million, that's almost like times two of it. So what's the point? It is well. So that he told us about seeing this case of the prison, you will read. But then I know, let's go to the unseen, let's go to the unseen. We'll go there. But if you go to the unseen, this is where your marks are. So please, let's do it well. Challenges facing the sector. Now, one of it is foreign exchange constraints. So these foreign exchange constraints now, they have that increased import costs, and then import costs and impacted the prices of new and used vehicles. So if you are seeing that the cost of Folak is increasing or the profitability of Folak is declining, you can say, oh, the profitability of Folak is declining due to what? Currency, or foreign exchange constraints, or due to what? High import costs. So that's something you can say, you can use to interpret that particular thing. Or you can even turn it around, you can flip it around. Let's say the profitability is low. Profitability is high, rather. If the profitability is low, you can say, okay, profitability is low because of what? High costs, high import costs. If profitability is now high, you can flip it and say, oh, despite the high import costs, Folak was still able to make high profit. So all this is I'm telling you, because now most of the things that we're seeing are negative, negative, bad, bad. You can flip it and say that despite the issue, Folak is doing well. Despite, see, you don't have to use perspective to do everything. Because that 20% assimilation and using of information, you must get it. Then high import duties and tariffs as well. High import duties and tariffs. So in this case now, they're saying that to protect domestic assemblers, government has imposed high tariffs up to 70% in some sectors or some segments on fully built imported vehicles. And they say that they are doing this because what? They are trying to what? They are trying to improve what? To boost local importation or local production. And then this has actually, in turn, led to high prices of vehicles. But what? Low quality. Because government, they think they are smart. They're trying to say, okay, because once we encourage local production, we will increase tariffs. Tariffs is basically taxes. We increase taxes. But then this thing now has led to what? High prices of vehicles and what? Low used vehicles. So these are things that they should consider. So if Folak wants to start doing anything relating to importation, you can tell them that, let's say they say that they want to import spare parts. Okay, let's say they want to open a branch in Abuja to sell spare parts, for instance. Now, you know, say, no problem, but the fact that you want to start selling, don't forget that up to 70%. So in some segments, the government has actually increased tax. So this is something they should consider, because if they actually have high taxes, it will affect their operational costs. If it affects their operational costs, yes, they'll be forced to increase their prices. But don't forget that we read that many people are actually looking for affordable cars. So that can actually cause issues. So if their cars are too expensive, it can affect a lot of things. So they should consider all these things. Then weak manufacturing base too. So there are a lot of like I said earlier, all these local assemblies, they are facing so many high costs, unreliable electricity, and a lot of issues. You understand? So these are the problems that if they want to go into local production, they should consider. There's smuggling as well, and informal markets. They're okay because people are actually doing, and the taxes are high, complex, and the procedures are very complex. Many people are actually smuggling all these vehicles. And fine, they say that they are saying that regulations are not strong yet, but Folak should be careful so that the company will not get involved with a company that is doing smuggling or counterfeits, because it can affect their brand. It can lead to ethical issues. So these are things that they should consider too. Then poor infrastructure as well. They have talked about this earlier. But then I just want to say something here. They said that what? The poor infrastructure can increase logistical costs. Logistics costs is just basically selling and distribution expenses. If you want to actually look at it from that aspect, you understand? So now in this case now, so you are saying that selling and distribution expense is high. And I said yes, selling and distribution expense is high because of what? The increase in logistics costs due to what? Underdeveloped transport infrastructure. So that's a way you can use to explain. Or you can also say profitability is high or cost is high because of this. So this is something I can use to explain. Then trends and opportunities. They talked about digital transformation, how you can use online. This thing, they're just basically repeating it. So I'll just be summarizing. They talked about how you can use online sales, that since COVID-19 started, that a lot of people have been using there's like trend in online research, showrooms, and people are now sitting at the comfort of their home. So this is something that Folak can consider. Then local assembly as well. Like they're trying to increase the local assembly. I know we talked about government policies that are favoring them and trying to improve, government trying to increase up to 70% of taxes in some segments. So this is something that they have spoken about. They're just summarizing. Then electric and alternative fuel vehicles. So in this case now, it's just like saying that electric cars, you understand? But then, though this is in the early stage, this is a growing interest, like growing interest in EVs, electric vehicles. Pilot projects and campaigns are underway, but infrastructure, such as availability of charging stations and reliable electricity, poses major hurdles. So what they're saying now in this case is that yes, because of environmental sustainability, they added sustainability to your syllabus. So that because of environmental sustainability, environmental protection, the release of emissions of carbon emissions, fossil fuel, all those things. Now people are now turning from using fuel-based cars to electric charging cars. But now, for Nigeria, we don't have charging station, no, because in those standard countries, just like you go to the filling station to buy fuel, they have charging station where you can go and charge your car, like as if you're charging your phone. But we don't have that in Nigeria. So we did say Folak wants to go into that. Well, they can say that, but I think they would not be able to thrive in that place, because if you are selling electric cars, me personally, I would not want to buy an electric car right now in Nigeria, because if I'm not stranded on the road, how will I be able to charge my car? There's nowhere to charge the car now. I've been now. You understand? So I rather probably go for a fuel-based car where I can easily get a filling station to get my car fuel. Do you understand? Easily. So that's something they can talk about. But that's something you can also say. And they can even paint a picture whereby governments release a circular talking about environmental damages that cars are doing, or environmental, maybe cars are releasing carbon emissions. Or I'm just painting a scenario how they can include sustainability with this question. So they can say that, oh, they're trying to look for a way to encourage electric vehicles in Nigeria, so that companies should, something like that. So they can actually bring it in terms of environmental sustainability, just to include it in your case study. But for now, I don't think that Fola can thrive in that market. If they want to do it, yes, but I don't think it's advisable, because how people charge their cars. And then after sales market as well. So now in this case now, there is growing sector. So now pay attention here, please. The growth of the auto sector is also driving demand for spare parts, servicing, and maintenance. You understand? There are significant opportunities in offering genuine spare parts, quality service repairs, and complementary products. So now, if they're telling us now that there is what? There is driving demand. Many people are asking for spare parts, asking for maintenance, asking for repair, asking for all these things. If Folak wants, they can tell you that Folak wants to dive into it. That Folak has seen that, oh, the after sales market is what is thriving, or there is opportunity in the after sales market. Therefore, they want to what? They want to venture into it. They want to start selling spare parts, or they want to start selling repairs, doing motor repairs, or they want to start doing complementary products. You understand? Or they want to start doing maintenance. So these are possible questions that they could ask you. Then the key player in the motor vehicle sales and distribution in Nigeria can be classified into indigenous and foreign-based companies. And what are they saying here? What they're basically saying here is that the people that are actually in the markets, they are foreign-based and Nigerian companies. And then the market is segmented into dealers in new vehicles, and dealer in used vehicles, and dealer in both used and new. So some people are doing only new, some people are doing only used, some people are doing both new and used. Now, for our company, the one that we are concerned with is what? Folak is one of the what? One of the indigenous businesses selling both new and used vehicles. So our company that are doing both new and used vehicles. This was basically the only information for the first time in a very long time. They usually give so much information about the company, blah blah blah, but they did not do that this time around, which is fine anyway. We just needed to know what are they doing. Okay, they are selling new and used vehicles. So if they're selling new and used vehicles, what are the possible questions? Could it be that they want to expand their sales? Could it be that they want to digress or expand to the after sales market? That's a possibility. So it could be that internally, the current product they are selling, they want to do more. Maybe they have a branch in Lagos, but now they want to go to Port Harcourt and Abuja. That's a possibility. Or maybe they are doing new and used vehicles. They want to go into the after sales market. Okay, now we are selling cars. We want to start doing repairs. We are selling cars. We want to start doing after sales. We want to start doing spare parts. We want to start doing maintenance. So those are the possible questions that they could give you. I'm just trying to stir up your mind so that you can have an open mind and know what to expect in the examination that they will provide. All right, so now let's quickly go on. Please pay attention to me. Like I said, 20% of your marks. That's what we're dealing with. So this is very, very important. Projections and future outlook too. So they're saying that now, you know, they said earlier that there's an annual projection of 320,000 units. You understand that? And then in this case now, like there's projection for local manufacturing, digital sales, and then they say that, but then for us to unlock the full potential, that stakeholders are calling for some things. They want to ensure that, oh, let's have policy implementation. All the policies, they're not implementing it. Then financing solutions too. How can we have access to finance? So they complained about limited access to finance too. Then infrastructure, security, capacity building. How can we develop skills? So these are issues that if we can address and tackle, we will be fine. You understand? So these are the projections and outlook. You understand? 2025 and beyond. Then the second thing they said was the motor repairs, services, and spare parts sales. Now, when I was reading the PRESEEN for the very first time, and I got to the point where I saw that Folak is dealing in new and used vehicles. Okay, no problem. Oh, the first exhibit was about the Nigeria economy. Then they talked about sales and distribution services. Okay, no problem. I'm not like, what is repair? I thought they said that it's sales and distribution now. So I was like, repairs is after sales now. Why are they giving us information about repairs? Then it occurred to me that for them to be giving us information of, and you know that first exhibit, it was repair, motor repair, motor repair, motor repair. They were emphasizing. Did you notice? And now they gave us a full exhibit on the after sales, because after sales involves repairs, it involves spare parts, it involves services, it involves maintenance. They gave us a full exhibit on that. That is telling us that, of course, the examiners, not if they don't have work. They say, we don't have work, Jerry. Let us put information that is not necessary. No, they have work. So the reason why they're putting this is telling us that there is great possibility that Folak will be diving into that market. You understand? Like diving into after sales market, because they kept emphasizing motor repairs, motor repairs. So it's possible that they can say they want to do something like that. So take note of that. Now, so take note of that, please. Now, analysis of the motor repairs and spare parts in Nigeria. So Nigeria has rapidly expanded, like the automotive sector has expanded. Like now, many people are now doing personal transportation, commercial transportation, and then there's higher demand for like motor repair services and spare parts. So now, let's say that the overview of the after sales market. Now, the automotive after sales market has like so many services. They have the vehicle repairs, routine, and sale of spare parts. So it could be that Folak wants to dive into one or more of these. Folak could be wanting to go into repairs or go into sales of spare part or maintenance. And then they say that, now look at this, pay attention here. The sector is driven by aging vehicle population, importation of used cars, and challenging road and environmental conditions that accelerate vehicle wear and tear. So now in this case now, fine, it's a bad thing, but it's a good thing for Folak. So if Folak wants to go into any of these after sales market services, it's good, because people are now the car. There's some cars that you see, you be like, this car, please let it rest. You understand? Many cars are now old, like a lot of importation of used cars, Tokumbo, and of course, if they import Tokumbo cars, some of them will need spare parts. I know that many cars are imported. It's very, very rare for you to see someone that will import a used car or buy a Tokumbo car and then not have to change some things. Most times you have to change some things. So that if they're saying that many people are now buying used cars and then the road is so bad that today you repair, tomorrow it spoils, come to us. Yeah, yes, we want that. Fine, we know it's not good, but come to us. We want that because it will give us more sales. So that's something you can tell for like that. Yes, for like going into after sales markets because Nigeria has Jagajaga Road And the Jaga Jaga road would help us to bring customers. You understand? So that's something you can say. Not say Jaga Jaga, oh, hey, I'm just saying that. All right, so let's go on. So most of the cars and this is what further intensifying demand for maintenance and replacement parts. So now there is more demand for it, so it's a good market. Then motor repairs. So motor repair workshop, no, we talked about this now. We have the roadside mechanic, we have the branded. I know I said it earlier that they could give you a scenario that Folak wants to open a roadside. Maybe they don't have enough money, they just have small money, just want to start small. They want to open a small workshop, or they could tell you that they actually want to open a formalized, like big standard workshop. So that's a possibility that they can tell you. So that in this case now, they say that most of the people that are in the market are the informal people, you understand, but they don't have the standard practices and the tools. But for the formal people, now, they're typically affiliated with car manufacturers or franchises and are concentrated in major urban areas. So, how does this apply to us? They could tell you that, no, we said that earlier, if you're following me very well, we said that authorized dealership, can you remember? Authorized dealership, that we said that they actually have like dealership with the car manufacturers. I was talking about having a dealership with either Toyota, Honda, or something like that. So in this case now, they could say, okay, Toyota, we don't want your cars. We're already selling new and used cars. What we want to do is we want to make a deal with you and become a dealer for you. You give us your spare parts and we'll sell. So in this case now, most of those people that have fine shop, that will have AC, have TV, have all those things. Now, in this case now, most of them are actually affiliated with a car manufacturer. It could be that they are selling Toyota spare parts or they are selling Honda spare parts. I don't know if you have seen shops like that. I've seen quite a number of them everywhere. You understand? So that means what they are working for them. So in that case, they could give you a scenario that Folak wants to become a brand or a dealer rather for a particular company. Help us to assess it. Is it profitable? Should we go on with the this? I tell you, this is the contract between us and the brand or the car manufacturer. Assess it and advise us based on the financial terms and the business terms, something like that. That's a possible question that they could ask you to do. So, but then it's more, they say that the services are usually more expensive. So they should try and strike a balance so that it's not be too expensive and people are not going. But then don't forget that we read that many people are now demanding for high quality. So it's possible that they will still get customers. Now, for the service center now, they said that the service center are evolving with more dealerships and manufacturers establishing authorized service facilities. So now in this case now, no, we're talking about dealers and manufacturers now. So there are actually like a lot of service centers. Now, what are these service centers about? These centers offer comprehensive maintenance packages, warranty services, and customer support. So now in this case now, what the services basically do, it could be that the manufacturers themselves establish it, and sometimes dealers come to collect franchise, they come and collect permission to do it for them. You understand? So in this case now, what they do is that they will help you to do maintenance. Maybe okay, for a year, pay 30 million. We're helping to maintain your car every 3 months. Or they give you warranty services. And I believe that most of these people will be most of the people that do this will be more of those that are involved in new vehicles because which warranty do you want to collect for Tokumbo car? Which kind of warranty? You understand? So most of them will be new cars. You understand? That will basically do that. Then customer support too. Now, however, their reach is limited because many still rely on independent workshops for routine maintenance due to cost. Because when you're thinking, servicing, I should bring 30 million per year. When Baba Tunde in my street say bring 10,000, you understand? People will go to the Baba Tunde 10,000. Avina. So that case, some people are still relying on those ones because these ones are usually expensive. So that's something you can say. If Folak wants to establish a service center, you can advise them that, okay, yes, it's good, but they should try as much as possible to make it affordable so that it will encourage not only the rich, but also those that are in the middle class. You understand? So that's something that is a possibility that they can give you. So these are the possible 3 areas of that after sales market. Okay, we have not looked at the third one. Let's look at the third one. Motor repairs, service center, and let's look at the third one in the other page. Motor repair, service center, and spare parts. So these are the 3 possible after sales service that they could tell you that Folak wants to venture in. They could choose one, they could choose two, depending on the situation. Now, so then they say that the growing trend in digitalization with some service, so that some service center now you can, in fact, they haven't done a lot of digitalization. So, we talked about them implementing digitalization in their business. So they could tell you that Folak wants to go digital or something like that. And but then they want to start doing after sales service, or want to open a service center. But the service center will be online. Help us to assess, is it a good one? Is it a bad one? Then the third aspect of the after sales market is what? Is the spare parts. So that in this case now, they could say that what? That the spare parts company don't start doing spare parts. But then there's something they said here. They said it includes what? Both original manufacturer parts and after sales market parts. So now what they're saying here now in essence is that what? Sorry, the spare parts now in this case now is that what? They're saying that the spare parts could be original. Like, let's say for instance, Honda spare part, or let's say Toyota spare parts now. The Toyota spare parts could be like original Toyota from Toyota company themselves. Now, in this case, now it could be a dealer that is working with Toyota, or it could be after sales market. Like now in Lagos, I know we have Ladipo. In Abuja, I know they have Zuba. I know that they have quite a number of like places, just like, okay, if you want to buy phone in Lagos, go to Computer Village. If you want to buy phone in Abuja, go to Banek, something like that. So we have specific places. So this after sales, so all these ones now, they're not, most of them are not doing original. Is Babatunde that produced it, you understand? But then they are still good, they are still going to work, you understand? So these papers company. So in this case, now how does this affect us? Now, in this case, now it could be that um they could tell us that the Folak wants to go into what? Go into selling of the original, or they want to go into selling of the non-original, something like that. So that's the possible situation that they could give you. And then they also talked about e-commerce. They are really emphasizing this e-commerce as well. So let's really go on so that we can go to the unseen. But like I said, I want to explain to you, this is the one that I can release. This is what we are sure of. So let's deal with it very, very well. Then there are some challenges. These challenges, they are just repeating them. So I'll just walk over them. They talk about counterfeit parts. They say that too in the motor service sector. They talk about skill gaps, infrastructure problems, import dependency, regulatory oversight, all these things. They actually mentioned them in the vehicle sector. I've addressed them one by one. So that means what the challenges faced in the vehicle sales and distribution sector is also what's experienced in the what? In the repair sector as well. Then they gave us opportunities. These same opportunities too were in the other sector as well. So they're just repeating it. So we have explained them before. We don't have to go through them again. Then they gave us future overlook too. That's what? That there's growth, like this after sales market is poised for growth. You understand? And then the service sectors, the potential requires them addressing all these challenges that they actually made mention of. That is how they can actually thrive. So that's basically the information. So now let's now look at the last page of the PRESEEN before we go. But before the last page, let's look at the last information they gave us before they even told us the financial information. Now, new entrants into the motor repairs, service and spare parts sales could potentially be companies that buy and sell used vehicles, such as Folak. What's it telling us? This was the last sentence they gave before the financial information. That is telling you that more like we're about to touch the unseen, but let's not enter the unseen. Let's just give them a hint of the unseen. You understand? So now they're telling us that new entrants, people that want to enter the after sales market, not after sales, said that it's motor repairs, service center, and spare parts. People that will enter the after sales market are those that are already selling cars, such as Folak. So the examiner is using style to tell you that, I most likely would test a question relating to the after sales market. So they could tell you that Folak wants to either do repairs, either do service and spare parts. And that's why I took my time. You know, some people are like, oh, we're wasting time. We're not wasting time. That's why I took my time to explain so that you can understand all those things. So in case they test it, you would be loaded. Yeah. All right. So now exhibit 5 was the financial statement. That was the last exhibit that they gave us. Now, I will just say one thing here because, of course, as accountants, we cannot look at the face value of a financial statement and then start judging. We have to calculate. But before then, there's something that I want to say. Now, look at this financial statement. If you look at this financial statement, you can see that there's inaccuracies, like arithmetical inaccuracy on this financial statement. 2023 is correct, but 2024 is not correct. Because now if you add, let's even say, okay, add 52. 52 minus 11, that's about 41 or something like that, right? 52 minus 11 is 41. And if you now remove what? If you remove 31 from 41, that's just 10. But we're having 72, 330. So that what's this telling us? This was the mistake that they made. Like there was instead of them to, but if you do 52 minus 11 plus 31, you get the 72. So now many students were saying a lot of things. Some people were like, oh, I can't make a mistake. Instead of other loss, it should have been other profits. That's what group one, other profits group. Group two, they are saying that what? That ICAN made an error. They want to test our ability to assess financial statement. That's group two. Group three said no error, use it the way. So which group are you? As of now, see, any group can be correct. It's nothing like this group is wrong. No. Every group can be correct. But for this particular case study analysis class, we're going to look at one group. The fact that I'm looking at one group does not mean I'm discarding all other groups. You understand? So, but then we cannot look at every scenario, right? So we just look at the one we can actually look at. So this was the financial statement that was provided for us, and that was basically the end of the PRESEEN. So to the part that I've been waiting for, thank you, Jesus. To the part that I've been waiting for, the suggested unseen. Now let's look at it. All right, so thank you, Jesus. All right, so the disclaimer now, please. This suggested unseen will be slightly different because now many people have said they will take the unseen and digest it. When they get, I'm serious, like I've heard people say this. Like when they get to the exam, they don't even need to look at the requirements. Everything that they have learned from the predicted analysis, they'll just write it down. They will not even look at the requirement, they're just writing. I'm like, no, that's not the way it works. It will definitely be slightly different. But the essence of this requirement, of this analysis, is to guide you, to help you, to give you insights, so that there's no way you read this analysis document I'm about to show you, that you enter the exam hall and be like, well, 100% surprised. No, it will help you, to guide you, it will prepare you. You understand? So just know, but keep an open mind, basically. All right, so now let's look at the possible and exhibits that will give you. So now this exhibit did not form part of the PRESEEN material. So now they'll give you an email from, excuse me, Dauda Bagudu to Sylvester Chukwudi. Now remember that they said that you are Sylvester Chukwudi, and you report to Dauda. You understand? You report to Dauda. So in this case now, they'll give you an email, and they'll give you an email from Stephanie Olumide, somebody in Folak, to Dauda. So this is how it works. Let's say I have an accounting firm. A client, let's say Folak is my client, and Folak will come and meet me as the Oga and say, Oga, oh, Folak needs your help, oh, this is what will happen. So Folak will send me an email. But guess what? I'll say, yes, ma, we'll do it, ma. But I'm not the one that will do it. I have a boy, and that boy is Sylvester Chukwudi. So I will not send an email to Sylvester Chukwudi telling Sylvester about about the instruction that the client gave me. So more like clients gave me work, but me, I crossed my leg and gave my boy Sylvester Chukwudi. So that's why you see that they will say you are Sylvester Chukwudi. And that's a lot of people actually have, like, when it comes to internet, but we're not doing that anyway. That's not our business. Like a lot of issues with who is the preparer of the reports. You understand? And even the external report, some people say, it's not Sylvester Chukwudi that prepared it. See, Sylvester Chukwudi is a nobody. Nobody. So Sylvester Chukwudi's name is not what's going to be on the report. In this report, the prepared by will be the name of your company, Bagudu, Ademola and Co. Because Sylvester is preparing the report for the company. So that's why you see that we have the email from Dauda to you, and then the email from Folak to Dauda. I don't know if that makes sense. Then we have an external auditor's management letter, then sales of new and Tokumbo spare parts, and proposed acquisition of Goke Auto Repairs, and a joint circular from SON and Nesra. So now, we have read this before. This was given to us in the PRESEEN. You understand? You are Chukwudi, and then you report to Dauda. We actually analyzed this earlier. And then they said that what? Draft a report for the board of Folak. for the board of Folak in the email set out to you in Exhibit 6. So Exhibit 6 is the email that it contains the email to the requirements that Exhibit 6 contains the requirements that you will do. You understand? So now let's now look at what Exhibit 6 is about. Okay, let's zoom this out a bit. All right, so okay, let's zoom this out a bit. All right, so they're saying that your report should comprise an executive summary. So they have to know, they kept saying it, please make sure you do your executive summary. Oh, it's important. Oh, I've said that their response to the two detailed requirements set out in Exhibit 6, and they gave you time allocation, but you don't have to follow this. So please, honestly, reading and planning, fine. Some sentence they enforce the 1 hour, but calculating 1 hour, which kind of calculation? Well, do your calculation well, follow the time that works for you. That's what I would say. We looked at this at the beginning of the class, so we don't have to focus on that again. Thank you, Jesus. Okay, so this is the first email now that we have. Email from Sylvester Chikudi. Email from Dauda, your boss, the one you report to Sylvester Chikudi. So the email was sent on the 17th of October, 2025. You understand? So now, in this case, now, what did they say? I have just received an email from Stephanie Olumide, the finance director of what? Of Folak. So in this case now, Dauda is telling Sylvester that Folak sent him an email. And then that's requesting that we review the management letter issued by the external auditor attached as Exhibit 8 and make the necessary adjustments to the financial statement. So in this case now, which group did I say is adjustment group? Well, I don't know which group 1, 2, 3, wherever you are. I'm joining you people this night. The adjustment to financial statement, because I talk about this that as an accountant, I've gone through at least more than 10 to 15 past questions. And I know that there have been situations whereby ICAN will say, adjust the financial statement. Like now, for instance, May 2024 that Spicy Confectionery Limited, they were asked to adjust the financial statements of the company they wanted to acquire. But that was basically like accounting principles that they did not follow. But this one, basic arithmetic principles, like calculation error, that's not something that I can. And this exam is not something that somebody would just sit down in their house and say, oh, let's prepare a PRESEEN document and upload it. No, this exam, they have examination body that goes through review process and all. So I thought to myself that they're actually telling us this or showing us this to test your knowledge of financial principles, test your knowledge of accounting, test your knowledge of double entry. So they're going to tell you to adjust it. I don't think it makes sense to be calculating ratios with an arithmetically inaccurate financial statement. So that's why I came up with this, that they'll give you a scenario whereby they will tell you to adjust the financial statement. And then did I say that Olumide Stephanie, she also asked. So in this case now, they say that the management letter was issued by the auditor. Now, the essence of a management letter is that when an auditor comes to review the financial statement, if he sees any error or has any observation, he will write a letter to the management and tell the management that, management, these are the errors or observations I found while I was conducting my audit. I suggest you review it, something like that. So that management letter now is a letter for us to see management letter. We already know we are in trouble, because that's not a good sign. You understand? Fine. Let's see what the man was saying in the letter. You understand? So she now said that we should assess their performance using the adjusted figures. So now in this case, two things. Make necessary adjustments, one, and assess the performance using the adjusted figures. In the email, she explained that the new PPE worth 30 million naira purchased through long-term loan in 2024 was incorrectly added. Let me even use another color for this. Was incorrectly added. So this is like the major thing that we should take note of. PPE worth 30 million naira. They bought it through long-term loan. But instead of the this even showing that the financial accountant deserves one big knock on his head. Instead of him to put it in the correct account. I mean, when you buy PPE, if you buy PPE by cash, right? So maybe you credit cash and debit PPE. If you buy PPE by loan, you what? You debit PPE and credit loan, right? This one now means to go and put it in other loss and cash. You remove it from cash. You know, you can remove it from other loss. It deserves not. So that's where the error came from. So that's why we had an extra figure in the other loss. So please correct this statement and assess their performance. So two things now. Adjust the statements. When you're done with that, assess their performance. So now in this case, now if you have this kind of scenario in your real case study exam, and then you are using the old financial statements, it will be wrong. I've had students that had issues with that. Like they were asked to use another financial, maybe they gave them another financial statement in the unseen, or they gave them information in the unseen that would change the financial statement basically. But we're using the old one in the PRESEEN. It will affect your grade, it will affect your score because you'll be calculating using wrong figures. So it's very important for us to first of all adjust, then what? We'll now assess the performance. Then the company now, the second thing they now said now is that's like exhibit one, requirement one, financial statement analysis. Now the second thing is that what the company is planning to expand to the after sales market. We kept saying it. Even the last information they gave us in the PRESEEN was that what most companies are going to the after sales market are those ones that would be in new and used or doing new and used vehicles, you understand? And they would like us to evaluate their two proposals. The proposal is in exhibit 9 and 10. The first is to open a formal branded outlet, which will serve as a service center and location for the sale of new and Tokumbo spare parts in Abuja. So that in this case now, we saw that they said Abuja and Lagos, they are actually like good locations because like there's urbanization, there's expressways. So in this case now, they're telling us now that Folak wants to go to Abuja and then they want to open an outlet where they'll be selling new and Tokumbo spare parts. And then they said what? The second proposal is the proposed acquisition of Goke Auto Repairs, a private company also in Abuja, offering formalized repair service. So two things now that they want to do. I was saying that it's possible that they can merge, they can ask two, the three after sales that we looked at were motor service, motor repairs rather, service center, and we also looked at sale of spare parts. So in this case now, out of those ones, and they're saying that they want to go into sale of spare parts, and they also want to go into repair. So it's possible that they can ask you. You understand? And they said in addition, the SON and the NESRA issued a joint circular on counterfeit spare parts and environmental regulations. So that in this case, we're talking about counterfeiting, and we're talking about electric vehicles, environmental regulations. So in this case, they could give you a scenario whereby they will say that there are some regulatory bodies that actually issued a circular, and the circular is about materials that are counterfeits and everything, and fine. In this case now, Folak is currently selling new and used cars. But if they are looking into sales of new and Tokumbo spare parts, that means this circular concerns them because they have to look into it because they'll become part of those people. So you understand? So Folak wants us to review the circular and recommend the strategies they can use to address the quality and environmental concerns. So what are the strategies that they can actually use? How can they address the issues that were raised? Because now we are not there yet. We're not a part of the spare parts company yet. But if we eventually go into the spare parts sector or market, we have to be ready. You understand? So tell us now, based on what they have said, how can we tackle the problem? So that's what I'm just basically saying. Then Dauda now said that he has given us exhibit 6 to 11 in respect of the above. So these are now the requirements now. Please, Jackman, every emphasis, every case study exam, they'll always say something like this. Please draft for my review a report addressed to so. So many people are always saying, who should be my two on the reports, on the cover page? Should it be to Dauda? Because now in this case now, Dauda is the one giving us information. Stephanie Olumide gave Dauda work. Dauda gave Sylvester work. So should we not say draft to prepare to Dauda? No. The question is, who is the ultimate receiver? Most of these people, please draft for my review. Dauda might not review anything. For him to even give Sylvester the work in the first place shows that he's a very lazy person. You understand? So you may just collect it and just send it to Stephanie. So if you're not putting to Dauda, Stephanie receives it. Stephanie, Why Dauda? Why is your name here? It's not my name that's supposed to be here. You understand? Something like that. So that's why the two should be the person they ask you to address the reports to. Do you understand? If that makes sense. Then evaluation of the company's performance in the 2 years. So they say you should evaluate the performance for 2023 and 2024. Then they specifically said you should cover 3 things: the performance on profitability, the performance on liquidity, and the performance on long-term solvency. So please, if they give you a requirement like this, that's what you should focus. Excuse me, please. You should focus on. And they said that what carry out this analysis using the adjusted financial statements. In fact, this examiner, well, me, I'm the examiner, is nice. Some examiners will not even tell you, they will just say, carry out the analysis. If you like, go and use, I've told you error. Go and use the old one now. Some of them will not tell you. You understand? But if you're having an information that they're telling you there's an error of this, you already know. That should tell you that. Adjust it, even if they don't tell you. You understand? So I expect to receive your report in a month. So now in this case, what's the date? He gave us he sent the email on the 17th of October, 2025. And a month from that is the 18th of November, 2025. So that should be the date on your report, or not before. So it could be 15th of November, 16th of November, but not more than 18th. Because in a real life setting, your organ said, submit a report in 1 month. You're not sending it on the 21st. The reply you will give is sack letter now. I mean, so you have to submit it before then. So that is basically the requirements. All right. So don't worry, we're going to be fine. So now let's now look at the second email. Most times, many students fail, not because they are not intelligent, but because they don't read the second email. Yes, I know there are some diets that they don't give 2 emails, they just give only 1. But if they give you 2, in fact, the first thing you should say is, examiner, God bless you, because that examiner loves you. Why? Because I told you that the way it works is that the client will send an email to your boss. That's the person you report to. Then your boss will not draft a summarized email to you. You understand? So most times the second email is usually the email from the client to your boss. Now, if you look at this now, from Stephanie to Dauda. And Stephanie is the finance director at Folak. So most times that one is more detailed. Because Dauda is Dauda is a lazy person in the first place now. You cannot give Sylvester direct information, he will summarize it. You understand? So most times the email from the client is much more like explanatory. So it gives you clarity on what to do. Now let's now read it. Good day to you. I hope this email meets you well. Our board will be meeting soon to review our performance in the past years and to make decisions on 2 major matters. We would like you to review, that's the first thing, review the management letter issued by our external auditor, attached as Exhibit 8, concerning the inaccuracies in the 2024 financial statement. Now, they're telling us that, like we saw, the 2024 financial statement is not correct. So the management letter was about the inaccuracies on their financial statements. So from our internal checks, we observed that the new PPE valued at 30 million naira which was purchased through long-term loan in 2024, was incorrectly included in other losses. You understand? Was incorrectly included in other losses. So that's an issue. That was the issue that they actually had. So that was what caused the financial statements to be incorrect. Now, they said that we do not have a professional accountant. In fact, that one is even telling you already that they don't have professional accountants. Of course, that means the reliability of the financial statement is not even sure at all, because that's telling you a professional skepticism is pointing to you already. So we need you, since they don't have the person that would do, because it's not our job to be correcting financial statements for you in the first place. But now they're telling us that the reason why we're telling you to do it is because you don't have anybody to do it. Okay, no problem. We'll pity you, are happy. So we need you to correct this so that we can forward the amended version to our auditor for review. We would also like you to assess our performance using the corrected financial. So 2 things now. Number 1, adjust it rather. After adjusting, number 2, you will now assess their performance. I know they said that performance should be on profitability, liquidity, and long-term solvency. Then they said we plan to expand into the after-sales market, and the board needs an evaluation of 2 strategic decisions. The first, we intend to begin the sale of new and Tokubo spare parts. Folak plans to establish a sales and service outlet in Abuja. So in this case now, they are not only selling spare parts, they're also doing sales and services. So that maybe they'll help you service your, they'll help you do maintenance, they'll give you warranties, all those things. So now they are like combining both two after sales market in that case now. They're combining both spare parts and services as well in Abuja, which will function as warehouse for this part. So what I'm saying now is that they'll have a warehouse in Abuja. You understand? The location will be a warehouse in Abuja where they will store all these parts. You understand? Of course, when they bring it from the suppliers, they will not keep it in their house now. They'll keep it somewhere. So the location of that somewhere will be a warehouse, and the warehouse will be in Abuja. You understand? Now say that words. We are aware of the prevalence of counterfeiting and smuggling. So we aim to become an authorized dealer with Toyota for original equipment manufacturer new spare parts. We talked about this, that spare parts could be OEM or non-OEM when I was talking about the likes of Zuba in Abuja, the likes of Ladipo in Lagos, and the likes like that, you understand? So in that case now, in this case, I'm saying that because to avoid getting involved with those that are smuggling and those that are doing counterfeit materials, we want to go and collect the spare part ourselves from Toyota directly. That is for the new ones. Then for the Tokumba ones, we want to go to licensed independent dealers. They say that you can know when we're looking at the distribution channels. Hope you followed me clearly. The distribution structure that we said authorized dealers, or online or independent dealers. So that they say that was formed for the Tokumba ones. We'll go to independent dealers. And then those independent dealers are the ones that will now supply us with Tokumba parts. Now, but then let's say, due to financial constraints, we will start with one first, so we don't get power to do the two. We start with one first, either the new or the Tokumbo parts. Please appraise both options using the information in Exhibit 9 and advise us on the better option to start with. So now in this case, now what you're going to be doing now, we have not looked at the answer or anything, but thinking of probably a possible contribution analysis or MPV, I will check which of them is more profitable, which one should they do. So you're already thinking, but let's still calm down. Secondly, we are aware that the motor repair sector is becoming increasingly attractive due to rising vehicle ownerships and urbanization. This has led us to consider expanding our operations to include what motor repairs. I know they were saying motor repairs is good, motor repairs, all of that. So since starting from the beginning will be costly, like now, we want to start doing motor repairs. But if we say we want to start from scratch, where we would buy the building or build the building, where we do the motor repairs or do the shop from the beginning, to be very costly and complex. So there are so many regulations. So instead of doing all that, we are looking at why not let's acquire an existing company. So that the existing company is what? Goke Auto Repairs Limited. So then they said that, okay, instead of us starting from scratch, let's go to an existing company rather, and acquire them and then start operations from there. So these are the requirements. Then they said what? In Exhibit 11, we have a joint circular from SON and NESRA on counterfeit spare parts and environmental compliance. So I tried to look for something that could be relating to sustainability, how we can bring it in. So they could give you a situation whereby they're saying that, oh, the motor vehicle and spare part industry, there's a lot of environmental hazards, like maybe they are doing maybe for repairs. Now, if you go to a mechanic workshop, you will see that there's especially those informal ones that like oil spillages, you just see dirty old spare parts all over the floor, liters and all that. So I was looking for a situation, okay, it's possible that they can say those things have caused environmental hazards. Talk about it in that case. So just trying to sort of infuse sustainability, you understand, into it so that you can look for a way that can work. So that I now should recommend strategies to address the quality and environmental concerns raised. So I look forward to your prompt response, Stephanie. So that was the information that Stephanie sent to Dauda, your Oga. Then we have the management letter, which talks about the inaccuracies and the income tax being inaccurate and how other losses, just basically the auditor rather, talking to the management about the errors that they face. So I made it explanatory. I didn't complicate it at all so that you can have an idea. Then the sale of Tokumbo spare parts as well. I also gave information about this. So what I did was that I didn't want the pre-scene class to be too long, because truth of the matter is, if you want to actually look at each of these questions one by one, 5 hours, 6 hours, but still here. Let's not lie, you understand? So I tried as much as possible to give like notes, to explain in detail. I broke it down so that you have an idea when you are reading on your own. And of course, you know how it is now. We're on the group page. All my registered students, we're on the group page. So anytime, any day, we're always going to be there. If you have any question, you can ask me. But trust me, it's very, very simplified. So this is the project cost and revenue of the newspaper parts, and project cost and revenue of the Tokumbo. There's some additional cost as well. And in this case now, they gave us weighted average cost of capital and the number of years. So looking at weighted average cost of capital, we already know that this is MPV. So basically, we'll just do the contribution. You do your revenue minus your costs, and you now discount it. You understand? So I'll show you that very soon in the material. Then the proposed acquisition of Goke. This is the information they gave for Goke. So they gave you the acquisition conditions. And if you look at this, and look at this first one. They said Folak must continue the existing contracts with Z Auto Repairs, an alleged dealer in counterfeit. Z Auto Repairs is doing counterfeit material. You're not telling us that we should go and be doing so. What is he saying? That okay, he's saying that no problem, come and acquire us. But if you acquire us, we have some conditions before we can give you our company. One of the conditions is that we have a contract that we have an existing contract with Z Auto Repairs, and Z Auto Repairs allegedly, rumors are going around that he's doing counterfeit material. So this is an ethical issue, because if truly the claims or the rumors are true, it can affect the brand reputation and probably even lead to ethical and legal issues for Folak. Then they also said that the staff members must be retained, and then 2 members must be retained. So they gave them some conditions. Then we're giving the inflows, and then the costs as well. So I've explained all this in the material. I will show you right now very soon. Then this was the exhibits on the SON, talking about the counterfeit materials, talking about the environmental issues as well. So I actually included this in the material as well, the solution material as well. So don't worry, it's very simple, very, very simplified. If I oversimplify itself. All right, so now I thought to myself that, okay, fine, the PRESEEN material contains 3 things. Number one, the adjustment to the financial statements. Number two, the repairs, acquisition of a company. Number three, the going into sale of spare parts. But the other things that they could test. And of course, if we want to, you cannot exhaust everything in this PRESEEN analysis. So I added supporting notes. So there was a question I added for it. This was like extra question that they could test. So the solution, this is the question actually in this material. So the solution is in this PRESEEN solution material to find the answer. It's not part of the requirements. It was just like a thought that, okay, what are the other things they could ask them? So I just included it. So the answer is also in the material. Then other possible requirements too. They could tell you that instead of adjusting the financial statements, they could tell you to use it like that. Then they could tell you that, so that other possible situations, they could say that, oh, the 2024 other loss was actually other income. You understand? So no school or group, what are you people in other income people? Your group, it's possible that they could add that too. And the group of people saying that, oh, they may tell us use it like that, it's possible too. So I put that group. Then some people are also saying that they may give us an additional 2025 forecast. In that case, we have to do trend analysis, ratio analysis. Is very possible. So I just wanted to just add it here. I cannot do analysis on all possible scenarios, but just to open up your mind, so in case they ask you anything, you'll be ready. Then for the financial data analysis aspect as well, they could tell you that instead of us acquiring a company, we want to go by ourselves. Why acquire? No, we're not concerned about starting from scratch. We will start from scratch, no problem. So they could give you a situation whereby you actually have to start from, like they want to expand independently. So that's the possible situation. Or they could give you a situation whereby something like what they did in May 2024 diet, they'll give you 2 different companies. And what they did in May 2024 diet, you know what they did? Let me tell you. They gave them a financial statement in the PRESEEN. But in the unseen, they now gave them financial statement of 2 companies. And they told them to calculate ratios. First of all, they adjusted it. They calculate ratios for those 2 companies using the financial statement. So the one they gave us in the PRESEEN was useless. It was the one in the unseen that they gave. So it's possible that they can decide to do that kind of thing again. You understand? So in that case now, they can tell you that compute ratios, or they can give you, instead of doing financial statement compute ratios, they can tell you these are the two companies we want to acquire. These are the projected outflows. These are the projected inflows. Assess. You understand? So that's a possibility that they could also give. So these are just like other things that you can look at. You can try to see and all of that in case they ask. In case they ask you. So these are the possible scenarios that they could give you. They could give you. So now let me now show you the material. Let me just come out of this, please. Okay, yeah. So let me share the material with you. The second one, sharing this, the solution material. All right, so yeah. So this is the solution material that we have. So I made it as simple as A, B, C. Like it's very, very simple. It's very, very simple. So you don't have anything to worry about at all, like at all, at all. Okay, this is not the beginning. Let's go to the beginning. So it's 9 pages. Don't be scared. Ah, no, I trust you now. 5 hours, 2 hours, you finished it. So this was just the disclaimer. Then this is the cover page. Now, many people ask, must I use capital letters? No, you don't have to use capital letters. Can I put it in the middle here? I can not give a format for the cover page. Just they gave a format, but they didn't give like format for the sentence case. Should I use capital letters? Should I use not capital letters? Whatever you want to use, just ensure that your report on, you're prepared by, your dates, and if it's an external report, ensure that it's there. Then number your pages. You don't have to use PAGE1. You can just write figure 1. You understand? You don't have to use PAG. You can just use figure 1. So this is the cover page. Then the executive summary as well. I use the combined method. Well, if you have followed my classes, you know. But what I just did was I just put a heading, then interpreted the requirements 1, put a heading, and interpreted the requirements 2 as well. Then conclusions and recommendations. Then please don't forget to number your pages. Then you have your introduction. Many people were asking, oh, do I have to put many things? The only information they gave us about Folak is an indigenous business. So that's the only thing you should put. They didn't give you more than that. So you don't need to be worrying yourself over it. Just use whatever they give you. Then you have the analysis as well. It's very explanatory, so you don't have to worry about it. And if you have any question, I'm always there to attend to you. So this was the adjusted financial statements. Now, please don't say something here. If they ask you to do adjusted financial statements, you don't need to make it long like this. So like look at this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excuse me. You don't need to make it long like this. So the reason why it's long like this is because I explained. Because I know that many people will read it on their own. So I was trying to do it in such a way that I don't have to be there for all your answers. What are the? I was thinking in my head, what's answer? What question can this person ask in this place? Oh, what question can that person ask in this place? So that's why it's long. In the exam hall, you don't need all that. So that's why it's long. So I adjusted the financial statement, then prepared the ratios, then analyzed the sale of the two Tokumbo spare parts and the repairs as well. So it's very, very explanatory. Then the additional study material that I also gave as well. I said that the question was in the material, and the OC material. So this is the solution as well. It's not part of the requirements. It's just something I thought of. Okay, what other question can they ask you? So that's why I included it, and that was all. So that's basically all about the PRESEEN analysis, and I really hope it helped. So I'm currently recording right now, so I'm going to compile this, upload it, and before this was the time now, this is about 8:30. Before 9, you should be able to get the link, because I have to go through process, upload it on YouTube before it gets all this kind of thing. So I'm going to share the link with you on or before 9 o'clock today, and the document as well. All right, so that's basically all. If you have any question, I'm always there. You know how we do our things now. That one, we're always together. We're always together. So I'll take some questions now, so that, let's just say I'll take some questions, because I have to do your report, or I have to do your video. So let's not spend too much time here. let's not spend too much time here. Let me just take 1 or 2 questions. Hey, Jesus Christ. How many questions do I have? Oh, God. Oh. Please, the ones that you sent before, am I able to take it, please? Let's just take some questions now, please. If you have any question, please send it here and I would attend to you. Let's take questions to like 8:40. Remember that I have to do your video and then everything. So please send your question now. Please, any question that you sent before, I might not be able to see it. So please send your question now. Thank you. All right. So please, what the ages? Wait, where will I start from? Okay. Well done, ma. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me just start from what table of contents. Please, what about table of contents? In the entire ICAN case study pack, there was nothing like table of contents. You understand? There was nothing like table of contents. There was nothing like table of contents. So you don't need table of contents. The only place where they put something like table of contents was in the, why is this thing doing like this? The only place where they put something like table of contents was in the introduction aspect. So you can put something there. You understand? You can put it there in the introduction aspect, but you don't need table of content. Don't worry about that. If you put it, will you fail? No, you will not fail, but there's no need for that. The questions are so many. All right, that's it. They're just going down. They're going down. All right, so please, what happens to my 20 marks on case study exam? As a result of time constraints, am I unable to? God. Okay. As a result of wait, oh, sorry, oh, people are actually sending in messages, so it's just like going down and scattering. I wanted to finish reading that question. I must finish reading that question. Let me go and look for it. Sorry, everybody. Just I know everybody wants to ask questions, but don't worry, I'm here for you. Don't worry, don't worry. We're together. I'm your ICAN buddy, but let me just take this question. God. I was reading a question now, but I'm sorry. I cannot see it again. Sorry. Can there be sustainability report in the requirement? Yes, they can be sustainability report in the requirement. They can ask you to actually do something related to sustainability. They can tell you, oh, the company has a sustainability report, just like what they did for May 2025 diets, that they asked them to actually do prepare an extract for the sustainability report. So it's very, very possible that they can test something like that. Okay, yes. Please, am I only able to include conclusions and recommendations in the body of report, not an executive summary? Yes, please. Conclusions and recommendations should be in the body of report and executive summary. So what happens to your 20 marks if you're unable to? I am definitely, it's not only conclusions and recommendations that the 20 marks of the executive summary will cover. The other things are the 20 marks will cover, but please try as much as possible. Time yourself. If they're saying 5 minutes more, even if it is one conclusion and one recommendation you can put, please try, because marks are awarded for it. You understand? Try. See, the introduction should probably even be one of the last things you do, because introduction is always as important. So maximize your time yourself. So I know it's not easy. I've been there, but try as much as possible to do it. So what is ROMS and when is it applied? ROMS is the first paragraph of your executive summary and is applied in the executive summary. I can't wait to share my testimony. I can't wait to hear from you too. Your testimonies, please, all of you should share it. Please, mom, when are we going to get the material? You get it on the group page. Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate you. Those appendix, if we do the working, would there be a note or an appendix? Okay, in your real exam, Abi, that you do put notes. You don't need all those notes. Just there's no time for that. The reason why I put all those notes in the appendix is because I wanted it to be explanatory. Of course, I cannot be there every time when you're reading. So that you explain, you don't need to write everything. Oh, thank you so much. I'm very grateful. Thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate your kind words. I'm humbled. Thank you so much. Thank you. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. All right. So, okay, I think I've answered this. God bless you, everyone. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Are you going to send it? So they said, yes, please. I'll send that to the group page. Please check the group page. Thank you so much. Activity-based costing, can it be tested? Well, there's nothing that is impossible. Honestly, ICAN is very unpredictable. So please, just anything that you think I should study. The material I prepared just basically what I thought that, okay, based on at least I've solved more than 15 past questions, based on the pattern of questions and how they test, what are the possible scenarios. So anything is very possible. Would there be pestle and SWOT? It's very, very possible. There's nothing that is possible. From what I'm seeing, I'm not seeing anything personal. But like I said, May 2024 diet, they tested answer product matrix. And the PRESEEN, there was nothing like NOTHING, nothing of answer, and they tested it. So please, please, please. Do you have to write professional skepticism? I saw that question. When after you have adjusted, yes, you can still write professional skepticism, you understand? Because the you can talk about the reliability and accuracy, because now one of the things is that the Stephanie Olumide talked about the other loss being 30,000, but for you to even make mistake once, fine. You cannot really trust you understand? We can still say the accuracy, because, and again, do you know why? That thing that she said, they still need an independent person to come and verify it, because what if she's lying? You understand? What if there's no PPE? You get, we cannot go to their company and say, yeah, oh, where's the PPE? Bring out the receipt. She not show us receipt now. You understand? So you can still say that. All right. So please, about the introduction, if they give us more information about Folak, yes, please. If they give you more information about Folak, please add it. Then what's the time now? Let me just take some questions. What of tax implications on the new business? Very, very possible. They can tell you what are the tax implications. Talk about it. It's very possible. Can you share an example of a sustainability report? Because it was tested in May 2025. But that person that asked that question actually solved it in my book, Chronicles of 5 Diets. Probably you can reach out to me on my number 081 700 2413 081 700 2413 to get the copy. Please, when they ask to adjust the financial statement, are we to rewrite the whole financial statement, including the adjustments? Well, if they ask you to adjust, just basically use your calculator or use. No, you don't have me. Like I said, the reason why my own is long like that is because this is a study material. I cannot just be giving final answers. I have to explain to you how I arrived at that final answer. So you don't need all those long things. Just write what you can write, and what they need, what they'll basically need with probably the answers to the adjusted figures and the ratios they may ask you to calculate. So focus on that. If you don't have time to start writing everything, please don't. Just focus on, even if you don't have, even if you cannot prepare the full statement, just get your figures. Okay, other loss, the new figure for other loss is now Disney, and calculate your ratios, because there's no time. But if you can write everything, good. We didn't say anything on what and butter. For me, I don't see anything on SWOT and butter best analysis, but I will not tell you not to read it. So please read it if you need it. All right. Can you share the copy on? Yes, I'm going to do that. Share the material on the group page. Can we quote exhibit in the body? Okay, like notes from exhibit 2, the increase. Well, yeah, you can do that. That's fine. That's okay. That's okay. That's assimilation and using information is 20%. So that's okay. What aspect of the report should we start with for the sake of time constraints? Well, I released a video on my channel this afternoon, this morning afternoon. It was smart moves to prepare your ICAN case study report. I think that video can help. You can go and check my YouTube channel, Omodesola Odetayo, for that video. So I think it will help you how you can start, what you can do to save time. When calculating gen ratio, do we use total non-current asset or just long-term? Well, that question, I also had that question. So what I did was I went to past questions and I checked through ICAN. What do you use? Because one of the limitations of ratio analysis is that there are so many formulas. So I went to check, okay, ICAN, which one do you use? And for my research, I saw that most times they use long-term debt or long-term loan. So if that's what they use, then it's best to use it. But have a column for formula. Have a column for formula so that they will know the formula you used. Because one of the limitations of ratio is that there are more than one, like so many formulas. You understand? So have a column for formula so they will know what you use. How do we know that we have to do models? Okay, like you said, don't do it. So if you have to do models, they will tell you, like explicitly, yes, they'll tell you. In May 2024 diet, they told them using answer product matrix. If you check other diets, like for instance, they would give you a hint. Like for instance, now, November 2014 diet, they tested pestle. So they said carry out a strategic analysis on the external environment. Obviously, you know that a strategic analysis on the external environment is pestle. If they say carry out a strategic analysis on the external and internal environment, that's what you understand. That's what. So they will definitely give you a hint. They're not wicked. Don't worry, they're not wicked. So I think when are we to use SWOT analysis? I think I've answered that question. Is there a minimum number of recommendation for the body of report? No, ICAN did not specify. That's left to you. ICAN did not specify. Probably 4 is okay. 3, 4, 5 is okay. Please, can you explain sustainability reports parts? All right, so the sustainability reports for this one that I used was the SON and the NESRA. They actually released a circular that people in the spare parts industry, they're actually causing a lot of environmental issues. Because of that, they are affecting the environment. So they're not saying that, okay, how can they what are the strategies they can use to combat the environmental concerns, something like that. Sha. Don't worry, read the reports, it's very clear. Can we copy and paste your executive summary? Well, I would say yes and no. Yes, because there are some places I can copy and paste. For instance, the first paragraph and all that. But the requirements, you don't know the actual requirements the examiners will give. So try to edit. You cannot just write what I wrote. So what if the examiners come from another level? You understand? So just keep an open mind. How do we infuse ethics into our report? So you can infuse it as a paragraph. Like now, for instance, one of the ethical issues that I raised was the issue of creative accounting, because now if the financial statement is not correct, there's a possibility of creative accounting. So I put that under financial statement analysis under a paragraph. Then the ethical issue of them involving themselves with the auto repairs too, I put that under a paragraph as well. All right, so I will just take a few more questions. Thank you so much. Can we be asked to calculate merger and acquisition as a result of a yes, acquiring a new company? Yes, they can tell you to do that. Can we do both NPV or contribution analysis? The question will guide you. If the question gives you discount rate, do NPV. If they don't give you discount rate, stop at contribution analysis. In your personal analysis, do you prepare ratios? Yes, ratios are there. You see it. What part of report do we carry out our calculation? Calculate in your appendix. Must we state professional? Yes, you must state professional skepticism, because it's part of, especially in the executive summary, it's part of the marking guide. Is there any reason to write models aspect in the appendix? You don't need models except they ask. So if they don't ask you models, please don't do it. And if they ask you models, draw the model in their appendix and go to the body of report to explain. All right. Will ethical issues appear under the executive summary? The executive summary is the summary of your entire report. So if your report has ethical issues, you can summarize them in the executive summary as well. Thank you. Is it letterheaded? No, you don't need letterhead. Please don't do that. Please, I was thinking you would teach us how to write body of report. Please, this class is for PRESEEN analysis. If you want to learn how to do body of report, I actually have a lot of videos on that. You can check it on my channel. You understand? You know, this class, you actually need like another 2 hours to explain body of report and interpretation. You can do that. You can watch my videos. They are very, very explanatory. They will help you. What if after balancing the adjustments? What about balancing? Okay, let me just take questions for 5 more minutes. What about balancing financial statements? It didn't balance. It has to balance. No, that's the principle of double entry. If you debit here, you credit here. If you debit here, you credit here. It has to balance. I don't think that they will confuse you on that level. If they give you adjustments, then if it doesn't balance, go back and check it. Probably there's an error. It has to balance. If it does not balance, then the adjustments probably, I don't think they can complicate it. They give us inaccurate financial statement. They now give us adjustments to correct it, which is inaccurate again. Which kind of manipulation is that one now? I don't think they can give us something like that. So all they do, you can raise the professional skepticism if you have tried all you can, and then you are sure that it's true. Thanks so much for this section. I understand the executive summary showed assumptions. I would like to ask if the other assumptions aside financial statement adjustment. Then you can, the other assumptions too, like for instance, assumptions that the estimates for the project or the estimates for the acquisition. Because now the project, now they're saying they are estimating this inflow or outflow. How are they sure? So those ones are assumptions too. All right, so can we use the back of cover page? Yes. Page is not leave. Page one. Of course, page one is the front. That's the cover page. The back is the executive summary, obviously. Now, page is different from leaves. So please, yes. So you can use. How about the possible? What's the time now? I'm checking the time. How about the possible merger and acquisition scenario? Yes, that was what I gave. Merger and acquisition. Yes. Sorry. Is skepticism and wider context to be added in introduction? No, you don't need that. The ICAN did not ask you to put skepticism there. Please, what are the 2 requirements? Can we start with number 2? Yes, please start with the easier requirements. If it's a requirement 2 that please do that first. You understand? Please do that first. And if you're worried about arrangements, what you can do is that you can leave space for requirement 1 and start requirement 2. Don't start with the one that is harder. It will save you time and to boost your confidence. We like some appendix as a rough work, but yes, your appendix, you're in your appendix to prepare your body of reports. I hope what we did will be sent to the group. Yes, I will send that to the group page. And ethical issues really appear. Yes, you can appear in your executive summary. I can use total net current assets and long-term loan for debt to just check now. Yeah, most of the diets they actually use long-term loan, actually, like a large percentage. Can we draft the executive summary before we move to the analysis appendix? You need the analysis and appendix to prepare the body of your executive summary. So you'll be limited in that case. You might not be able to do that. So I just have 3 more minutes to answer questions. What's your channel name? Omodesola Odetayo. OMO. Okay, somebody has actually typed it. Thank you. Thank you so much, Emanuela. I'm grateful. Um, in the cover page, I might to combine the reports of the present, pre-seen and unseen. No, from the requirements. No, the cover page is just your requirements that will be from the unseen. So you said something about trend analysis. 2 years is not enough, but if 2025 is given, yes, yes. If 2025 is given, you can do a trend analysis. Thank you so much. Please, can we use ratio analysis for a report that has more than 2 years? Yes. If your report has more than 2 years, you can do ratio. Just follow the requirements. There are some requirements that there's some years that they give that is 2 years, and they ask you to do ratio. There is 3 years, they ask you to do ratio. So just basically look at your requirements. Let your requirements guide you. And even if it's 2 years and they say do trend, do it. Oh, that's what they want. Don't say examiner, it does not make sense. Do it. That's what they want. Must the report be closed and signed? No, I can't do not say anything about signing reports. You don't need that. You said something about 2 years. I think I've answered that question. Can we write executive summary on the next page after the cover page? Yes, because you're using page, not leaves. Oh, Michael, thank you so much for posting the YouTube channel. I'm grateful. So thank you so much. I'm very grateful for that. Will I solve? So last question. Let me just take let me just take questions. What if I'm giving contribution analysis? Do you have a video? I don't have a video on contribution analysis, but I'm sure that you will find so many videos on YouTube. And I think it's best to drop all questions on WhatsApp. All right. So I think that's all. So, my people, I've taken quite, I think actually answered majority of them. So, thank you so much for joining me. So, if you have any question, you know how we roll. Please go to the group page. I will continue from there. So, this is all about the class. Thank you so much. Sorry if I was not able to take a question. Sorry about that. I will definitely answer them one after the other on the group page. All right. So, this is the end of everything. Thank you so much, everybody. So I will send the video and documents to the group page. Peradventure, if you join this and you are not on the group page, you can send me a message on 081 700 081 700 So you can send me a message and to get the documents and all of that. All right. So good night, everyone. Thank you so much.